My father came here in 1952. We live about 6 miles away and we've been farming this land as a partnership since the early 80s. This lake here was created in the 80s for fishing. My father reinstated this and created all the trees here. We're going to build 3 cabins, 1-bedroom cabins. They'll be very comfortable, but not luxurious. We've always been very into conservation and creating habitats. We've done a huge amount of biodiversity over the years with the OELS scheme and the HL higher level scheme. We do pollen and nectar and wild bird mixtures. That has just ended on the 31st of March, so we're about to go into a countryside stewardship scheme, and by doing the cabins here and opening up for tourism, we're going to do tours around the farm and walks.
First and foremost, as a planner, we always look at the principle. Will the principle be supported by the local authority? It's quite clear in national policy that there's support for prosperous rural economy and the sustainable growth and expansion of rural businesses through diversification and through rural tourism. So I think that ticks boxes. In terms of local policy, again, that was very much in conformity with national policy, and the council do support diversification of farming businesses and rural tourism. I think we had to look at the locality, the context of the site. We also had to look at the wider context. Was this the place to have holiday accommodation? Was there existing facilities, amenities, things for people to be doing? Would people be attracted here? So those were kind of the first things we needed to look at. In terms of the site and looking at the kind of constraints, we had a few things we needed to consider there. So one of the big things that came out from us doing a bit of research was actually the site is located within flood zones 2 and 3, and obviously any residential use is deemed vulnerable within those zones. So we spent a bit of time with a consultant looking at that. We did a bit of modelling, and that modelling work actually showed us that parts of the site were located in flood zone 1. So we were able to look at where those bits of the site were, and that actually determined where the lodges would be located. So that was quite a fundamental piece of work.
When we put in for planning, we had to have, firstly, we had to have support from the local community, that they were happy with the idea that we'd come up with. And also we needed to establish that there was actually a need for it, because a project like this, obviously there's a fairly large investment, and it's important that we feel it's something that's going to give us a viable income at the end of it. For the RPA grant, we had to do quite extensive market research. We had to investigate what other establishments there were in the area offering the same thing that we plan to offer. We feel the most important thing we need to do is to offer this as something which is unique, and offering access to the farm and the conservation that we're doing, and allowing people to actually experience firsthand how a farm can operate in a very conservation-minded way, embracing biodiversity and embracing wildlife habitats. Is really, that I think is our absolute unique selling point. It has always been very much that we want to farm in a regenerative way. We want to farm with ecology and in an ecologically sound way. And I think that the fact that that was at the centre of everything we were doing, I think, did help our case very much.
Planning is a big thing for our members. It's one of the main inquiries which we receive from them. At the moment there's quite a lot happening in planning. We've had the planning bill with the Queen's speech, for example. We had a consultation white paper last year. So planning is a big thing right now, and obviously with farm subsidies reducing as well, members are looking for other income streams, and glamping, camping, tourism, depending on where you're located, can be a really great way of doing that. So if you'd like any advice on that or any information, please do call us in the office, and we're very happy to help.